Welcome everyone to Defender for Cloud in the Field. We were super busy with RSA and other events, including Microsoft Build, but we are back with a really good episode because we are going to talk about Copilot and of course how this is going to integrate with Defender for Cloud. But before I start, make sure that you follow the link below, which is our playlist, and go and subscribe to the Microsoft Security channel. If you already did, thank you very much for coming back to the show. And today, to talk about this subject, no one better than the product manager for this integration, my great friend, Asaf Nakash. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Yuri, I'm super excited to be on the show. I was a huge fan of the show even before, and I'm waiting for that moment to be part of that show and to talk here with our customers and people about what we are doing in MDC. So very happy to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. Finally, we've been planning this for a long time. I'm just glad that it's finally happening. So please introduce yourself. Tell us what you do for Microsoft.
So my name is Asaf Nakash. I'm 6 years at Microsoft. I'm in MDC, Defender for Cloud, and I'm currently leading the Copilot in MDC initiative, which is part of Microsoft Copilot for Security. And I'm leading that group. We have researchers, engineers, UX designers that are all trying to provide this value to our customers.
Awesome. Well, once again, welcome to the show. Before we talk about Defender for Cloud and how this integrates, let's step back a little bit and clarify what is Copilot for Security. So if you can give us an overview about that, that would be great.
Happy to share. So Copilot for Security is a platform that is across all Microsoft security products. The platform went GA on April, and we also already have several Microsoft products that are part of that platform. I think what is exciting about that platform, this is the first time that, in Microsoft we moved from best of breed, selling each one of these products, the best one that we can use, to start enjoying the value of all of these products together, what we call best of suite. So Microsoft Security is a best of suite approach, meaning it's going to be one product or one initiative across that you can buy as a customer. And Copilot is actually the first product which is cross product by default, meaning from the same product, from the same session, you can ask questions about posture, but you can also ask questions about incidents and how to resolve them. So that's the first time that we have a product which is going across all of the Microsoft security products. And I think this is the magic that we can make with LLM. And this is a product that is rely heavily on large language model. It's a model that we are add to that model a lot of security stuff. So it understand the security personas that are part of the security team. You understand the day-to-day activities and the day-to-day work that the personas are doing. And also understand all of the acronyms that every other month we create a new acronym, so you understand all of this work and can provide the customer an answer on prompts and questions that sometimes is moving around across different security products to provide one quick answer for the customers. And this initiative is also, from the billing side, is charged by itself, and not each product is charged for it by himself. So that's one initiative across all Microsoft security, bringing the value of best of suite.
Excellent. Thank you, Asaf. Some people that are working with Defender for Cloud for a long time, they may ask, how and why should I really care about this AI integration with Defender for Cloud, right? What is it? What really is going to be the benefits of a cloud administrator that uses Defender for Cloud to have this integration?
That's an awesome question. I think most of us are asking these days, how can LLM help me change the way I work, make my work better, faster, help every person on the security team become more educated. The security field is continuously changing. Our cloud environments are continuously changing. So we are asking, okay, we have this new technology. How can I take that technology and make myself and my team more productive, and do more with the team that we have. So we ask ourselves too, where is like the places that currently our customers are spending most of their time? Where are the places that they are missing some context that will help them take better decisions and do better work? And we actually ask our customers, and we had a very long research with almost 200 customers that replied to that research, and we discussed with them. And what we understand from customers that are like two main areas that customers are spending a lot of time these days. The first one is focus. Like we all know that part, right? Where should I start? What should I need to do today in order to reduce the risk to my cloud environment, in order to limit the amount of risk that I have? So focusing is something that customers invest a lot of time today, and we try to provide them a solution with the LLM. I will go over it in a second, but the other place is once I understand what I need to resolve, is how to resolve it. What is the problem? What is the impact of that problem? Who can help me resolve it, and how do I resolve it? So this came up like the top two areas that our customers are investing a lot of time, and we decided to take the power of LLM to help these two experiences become faster and more direct.
Yeah, that makes total sense, and I'm glad that we did this research to identify the key scenarios. Now, moving a little bit to the requirements, right? So let's say I do have Defender for Cloud nowadays. What are some of the prerequisites to have this Copilot for security integration? Do I need to be a security administrator to use or to onboard? How is this the prerequisites in the onboarding process?
Okay, I will touch that in a second, but I want to like expose a little bit more about what we are doing, because I think that the answer I gave was more of like a brief and not went into the details. But we're gonna provide two main experiences. The first one we call it assisted risk exploration, to assist you in the risk exploration task. This will help you ask questions, and we will see it in a demo in quite a bit. Ask question to focus in and zoom in on a specific area in your cloud environment, and then understand what are the most impactful actions you can take in order to reduce the risk. The second part is we call assisted risk remediation. This will help you with the remediation process, as I just mentioned, understand what's wrong, who can help me, how can I fix it, and even delegate it to the right person. So let's go back to your question. The question was about what are the prerequisites, and here it's a bit easy, but a little bit complex. So because Defender for Cloud is part of Azure, first of all, you need to have Copilot for Azure. Copilot for Azure, it's a product that is currently in public preview, and customers can start using it. So you need to be enabled. You need to be enabled for that, and then you can ask questions with Copilot within Azure portal. So that's the first one. The second one, as I said, you need to be part of Copilot for Security, which is the platform that we are running our LLM queries, and you need to be onboarded and buy a license in order to use it. The license are packed in something that we call SEU, Security Copilot Usage. It's a compute unit that you need to buy in order for us to run the compute power behind the scenes that generate the LLM response. So this is your two requirements. Regarding MDC, we don't have specific requirements in MDC, but because some of our skills rely heavily on the map and the data that is in the map, cloud map, we will provide better response once you have Defender for CSPM enabled. But we don't see it as a blocker. If you don't have it, there were questions that we cannot answer, but we still some of the experiences we can take the data from ARG and from elsewhere. So it's not a mandatory, but if you will have it, we can provide a better response and better answers.
Awesome. So, in summary, there is no RBAC requirement or things like that, right?
So that's good clarification. So part of Copilot for security, and I'm guessing that Copilot for Azure will follow the same route. There is also an RBAC of Copilot user that you need to have in order to use Copilot. And this was not we didn't started with it, but customers require that from the platforms, and now the platform will have also the RBAC rule to in order to query to be able to query. You need to have that rules, and of course you need to have a permission within MDC to see responses, right? If you don't see anything in MDC, the response will return nothing, because what we are doing in Copilot, we are using your credentials to ask the questions. So whatever you can see, we can answer.
Is this integration only accessible via the Defender for Cloud dashboard, or if I am in the context of the Azure portal, I get the same results?
So the platform Copilot for Security have two main experiences that you can use. First experience, the name is embedded experience. That experience is within the current portals that you are currently using. Meaning if you are in SECs, in security.microsoft.com, where the MDE portal, you can have a Copilot blade that comes on top, and you can ask questions and get response. The same is in Azure. You're in Azure, you're going into MDC, you will have the Copilot blade, and we see it in the demo, and you can ask questions. This experience, we reference to it as an embedded experience, because it's embedded as part of your day-to-day work with the products. The second experience that Copilot for Security have is a standalone experience. The standalone experience, it's an experience that is very similar to an experience of like ChatGPT. It's an all different portal that you can log in and ask questions across all of the security products. MDC is currently releasing the embedded experience, and the standard experience will follow soon afterwards.
All right. I think we have enough information. Let's see this thing in action. Let's move on to the demo.
That's cool. So as you can see, I'm in MDC. I logged into the recommendation blade. By the way, this is the new recommendation blade that we just announced. And the good thing about this recommendation blade that today, all of the recommendations are sorted from the most impactful one to the least impactful one, meaning the recommendation that come on top, they will be connected to the maximum amount of attack path and risk factor, and closing them one by one by the order that they are in. It just will help you reduce the maximum amount of attack surface. But so that's the new thing that we released. This is not what we are talking about here today. What I want to talk about today is still, when I'm getting here, I have something like 5,000 alerts recommendation altogether. And not all the time I just want to do like the most impactful thing. Most of the time, the way that customers are working, they want to focus on specific initiative, specific area within the cloud environment, and then they want to reduce that specific risk. So what we did here with Copilot is we allow you to ask questions that are posture-based, and what we're going to do behind the scene is provide the answer and help you like reduce the amount of resources that you are looking at. So this will help you like close that specific risk. So let's start by show publicly exposed resources. So as you can see, we are starting with, this is Copilot for Azure. It's in all of the Azure pages. And here, what we want him to understand, this is a MDC question. So you need to understand that, catch that, and then use Copilot for Security. This is what we work with the guys from Azure Copilot. They understand this is an answer that we can answer in MDC, and he forwarding that to Copilot for Security to run the query. Now we are looking at what you ask, and we're creating a query that will return that answer. So you can see in a second we are examining the question. And that next is going to tell me what is going to run through the cloud map. So you can see it's searching for conditions that indicate that the entity is exposed to the internet. So this is the query we can run on top of the map. We're going to get the response shortly. So we are running that over the map. And now when we get the response, let me just increase the screen. So based on the analysis, there are several resources that are publicly exposed. And then it's giving us a breakdown of the top ones. Okay, so we have 60 storage accounts, 22 virtual machines, 6 blob containers, and 3 APIs. And for each one of them, Copilot can also, as I told you, Copilot for security is very well known in all of the security world. So it can tell you, for example, storage account, this is potentially can lead to unauthorized access and data breaches. Or virtual machine, potential attack on the system. So it's for even if you're a junior person within that group, this will give you like the full, complete picture of what is the risk, why it's important to protect against it. And now you can choose between two major things. The first one is to apply the filter. I'm clicking apply filter, and you can see that I put a filter just on those resources that are exposed to the internet, and I reduce the number of the recommendation that I need to resolve. So now it's a very shorter list. And the other thing that is automatically looking at CloudMap and generating additional queries that I can ask. One of the things that customer told us that they start using Copilot for security and they got stuck by all of the prompt engineering, understanding how to ask right prompts. So we invest a lot of time, not only in providing you a response, but also tell you what can be a good follow-up question. And here you can see, so entity exposed to the internet and basic authentication, exposed to the internet and has a high criticality level. So let me just choose one of them. And again, the same story going on. We get we get the prompt. We are triggered by Azure Copilot, triggering the Copilot for security. So we are getting that prompt to our environment. And then we examine your question, examine your prompt, understand what you really want to ask. We can internet exposed entities that allow basic authentication. And then we run the query, we get the response, we summarize the response again with LLM and provide the same type of response to the user. And here we managed to reduce it very much. So we have one SQL server that is currently configured and one Amazon RDS. I forgot to say, but for me, it's like goes without saying, everything is multi-cloud, right? So this is a multi-cloud experience, and we are providing a multi-cloud results. Again, applying that filter will reduce it to just these two that are open to the internet and have basic authentication. This is very high type of risk, and I can quickly now close the first one and close that risk very easily. So we managed to, with two quick questions, to reduce the number of remediation I need to resolve. Now let's go into actually resolving those remediations. And I'm just choosing, choose one of the RDS DB instance should prohibit public access. And as you know, this is also, let me just close this. This is also like the new experience that we provide right now that is also include number of attack paths that are connected, what is the scope, who is the owner, what is the last change date. We have a lot of data here. Also, we have the graph, and the graph will show you each and every one of the attack path that is currently part of this. You can get into the attack path, get the insights, understand that this is the exposure level, this is what makes it open to the internet, right? This is something that a user that is experienced and have a lot of knowledge within MDC can go over all of the graphs and get like the full picture of what is the risk to this resource. We can also ask Copilot to summarize this recommendation. So here, what we will try to do is to give you a very short summarization that will explain you what is the problem, why it's important to resolve, and who can help you resolve it. So again, we are using Copilot for security. We get the recommendation details. By the way, the first experience that I show you, we rely heavily on the map. Here we are relying on everything that we have in ARG about this specific recommendation. So this will work good also if you don't have Defender for CSPM. So let's see the response that we got. So recommendation talks about RDSDB instance. This is high severity issue as it's exposed to the internet. Technique associated, cloud infrastructure discovery, data manipulation. Okay, high severity of the issue, risk level is considered low with 3 potential attack paths identified. And also, in summary, it's crucial to ensure that this access to RDS instance configuration is limited to authorized users only. Okay, so I get like the complete answer of everything that I have around this recommendation. Now I can ask, help me to, again, we also give you next prompt, so you don't need to think. So help me remediate this recommendation. You can click on it and get it running. So now what we are doing, we are fetching all of the data about this remediation, and we will try to generate remediation action in order to resolve this recommendation. Very important thing to say, and we're not going to show it today on the demo, we can also remediate in code. So if the remediation means, for example, you have a code that is relying on a package that have vulnerabilities, we can generate the PR, and that will help you resolve that issue. We will not see it in today's demo, but remediation action is very wide. It will include not only step-in-step instructions, but also a code that you can run. For here, for example, AWS RDS modify DB instance, and you get the database name and no publicly accessible. So as you can see, we generate the code, and we will generate. This will also help you reduce the time you need in order to understand how to remediate things. This is another thing that customer told us, that are investing a lot of time every time.
Great demo, Asaf. Thank you very much for sharing. A lot of cool things. Love also the follow-up questions. I think that feature is super helpful because, as you said, customers sometimes they don't know what to ask next, and in that way, that at least they can be more familiar with the expression and how to approach.
Totally agree. And I gotta say, this is the first thing that we are releasing to the public, and we just started. We have a lot of things that we want to do next, and we are also very open to hear where you want us to add all of these new opportunities with Copilot. And we really believe that a team that uses that on a daily basis will manage to reduce a lot more attack surface, manage to close many more recommendations, and manage to focus easily on the things that matter most. So I'm very excited about that. We will start public preview on June 10th. So I don't know when we're going to release this video, but if you look at your watch and it's after June 10th, go and use it right now.
Yeah. Definitely the video will be released before June 10th, but maybe when you watch is already June 11th. So as you said,
Yeah.
if you are watching this video after June 10th, then go ahead and start play around. Asaf, thank you very much for the presentation, for the demo, and for to clarify this integration. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Yuri, and happy to be on the show. Have a great one.
All right, everyone. This is a wrap for today's episode. Please make sure to subscribe to the AKA link below, which is our playlist, and have a lot more to come. Thank you very much, and see you again next time.